Welcome back, Fanfield family. It's my birthday. To celebrate, I've made this video, something a little different from my usual content. Today, we're going to look at some of the background designs I've made for various videos and discuss what my thought process was in making them. Stick around to the end, I'm going to show off Friday's background as well. Alright, first up, let's look at this one, which I made for my video on Tifa. I wanted to sort of contrast her eye color, which is a warm crimson, so I went with sea green and blue and a tiny bit of yellow. I also wanted to kind of lean into the idea of a physical impact since she's a close-range unarmed fighter, and the little spirals on the sides allude to her several spinning kick type attacks. This is the one I made for my Aerith video. I wanted to go with her main colors, pink and red, and I wanted to give it the feeling of magic pulsing and radiating outward to tie into Aerith's specialization with magic. I made this one for the Red 13 video. Of course, I used his color, fiery orange, and making it sort of darken as it radiates outward kind of implies the light of a fire. The shapes in it, smooth curves and sharp lines, were intended to represent the conflict in his character. He wants to stay in Cosmo Canyon, but he also knows that he needs to help fight and save the world from Sephiroth. For Yuffie's background, I knew what I was going for right from the outset, a sort of shuriken-like shape to reference her weapon of choice. Her colors were chosen to be close, but not a perfect match for her character design, since Yuffie herself has a long way to go to be perfect. This was Cait Sith's background. I struggled a bit with what to do for him since he's a little all over the place tonally, but ultimately I went with something that I think fits where you meet him more than the character itself. The gold saucer is a big, loud, colorful casino wonderland, and I thought those kinds of swirling prismatic colors would be a solid choice. This one I really like. I made this one for my video on Cid, and I really wanted to capture the feeling of his desire for nothing beyond just flying through the open blue sky. To embody that, I went with a light blue with a kind of pale orange-white that also alludes to rocket exhaust to represent his dream to be the first man in space. So this one I wasn't really sure would look good at the end, especially with bright images set over it, but I really wanted to lean into Sephiroth's supernova attack, and to that end I made it kind of look like a comet streaking through space and leaving trails. This one was for the Magic Materia video. I obviously wanted a shade of green that almost looks like it's glowing, as Magic Materia is green, and I went for an almost crystalline feel to it. This one was for my video on the enemy skill materia. It needed to be yellow because enemy skill is technically a command materia, but I didn't want to just reuse the background from that video. I wanted to make it feel almost like it was exploding with power, kind of tying into how powerful the enemy skill materia can be if you put the time in. This was made for my video covering what Final Fantasy VII actually is, and I wanted to go with a mostly green swirling pattern that's bordering on chaotic, sort of representing the life stream. Obviously I needed green for Emerald Weapons video, and I wanted to have two shades that were almost contrasting, a deeper green and an almost yellowish green. I threw in some geometric patterns here and there to give it a bit more flavor. Not my favorite design, but it's alright. For Ruby Weapons background, I knew I had to have elements of red in there, but I also wanted to throw in colors alluding to the desert where Ruby Weapon is fought, and in terms of the shape itself, I wanted to kinda go with the idea of winds blowing the sand. I really like this one. I made this for one of my subscribers a while back. They mentioned they were getting married, so I wanted to make something for them. It's never actually been publicly shown before. I asked about the colors they wanted, and ended up making this, an almost floral design, but with a bit more vibrant energy. I took a totally different approach with this one. For a video discussing a versus matchup, Count Dooku vs Mace Windu, I wanted to really lean into the frantic energy of a lightsaber battle. Of course, I had to include both red for Dooku's lightsaber and purple for Windu's lightsaber. I don't know if I'll make one in this style again, but you'll have to let me know down in the comments if you like this one. This one I designed for my video on the marks of contact. I started with just a very simple design, then copied and shifted it slightly to get that vibe of it almost quivering, which ties into the kind of heat of battle feeling that the marks of contact are so vital for. This one was for lightsaber subforms. I didn't really have much in mind going into making this other than I wanted it to feel really energetic. I kept the colors pretty light, almost neutral, so it wouldn't lean towards the light side or the dark side. It's just in the middle. I haven't actually used this one for a video yet, but I was playing around with different colors and shapes and ended up with this, and it was just so cool that I had to keep it. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. We'll have to see. This one was last week's, made for the Shaak Ti video. I wanted to go with her colors of red and blue with a touch of white, but I think I oversaturated it a bit. The shape was intentional though. I wanted it to look like a storm of lightsaber slashes. This is the background for this coming Friday's video. I don't want to spoil the character, but it ties into their rage and pain and hate. I wanted to go with the feeling of bloody fury, anger that's just barely contained. And that's it for today. Let me know which of these designs is your favorite down in the comments. I just wanted to throw up a bonus video for my birthday. If you want to get me a birthday gift, the best thing you can get me is just hitting that subscribe button and turning on all notifications. There's a new video every Friday. Liking and commenting really helps too. On Friday, it's episode 2 of Out of the Spotlight, and we're looking at a dark side character from Legends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.